Hello, everyone. How you doing? It's your favorite agent here in Atlanta. My agent is Travis.com, representing MetroBrokers.com also. And welcome to the first episode of my podcast. Of course, it's My Agent is Travis podcast. And I'm here to answer all of the real estate questions that you might possibly have, whether you send them to me via text or via social media on my inbox or however you need to send them to me, or even if you ask me personally. I answer your questions, but I'm here to answer the question for everyone to uh, get an understanding because they might have the same question that you have. But let me give you a little background about me first. So I've been doing real estate as of this year, 2022. I've been doing real estate for 15 years. Been working hard and grinding hard and been taking care of a lot of clients. And I am happy to say that I'm in this 15th year and I absolutely love what I do. I love helping my buyers. I love helping my sellers. I love educating people as to the things that they need to do in order to become homeowners or even the ones that just need to sell their property and don't understand how that process totally goes. So again, yes, I've been doing real estate for the last 15 years. I'm married. I have three wonderful children, and I'm about to get a fourth child. Well, I'm not going to call him a child because he's going to be my other son. My daughter's going to get married, so I'll be inheriting another son. So I have four children that I'm proud to say that are in my life. Again, I've been raised here in Atlanta all my life, so I know the city. I understand how this market works. I know a lot of areas and neighborhoods. I don't always know subdivision names, but I do understand where people live and how the dynamics of whatever county you're in or what goes on. So again, first episode of the podcast. This has been a long time in the making. Thanks to everyone over at Ebon Vision. I know LA's taken care of me plenty of times, and you all might not have seen any of the things that we have done prior, but we're really going to make this work this time and with nothing holding us back. Okay. So let me give you a couple of numbers that I looked up, and this was a couple of days ago in our city. Let me give you a couple of numbers about the counties, our surrounding counties. So I did a search for properties up to $1 million in the surrounding areas. And in Fulton, there were 681 properties that were for sale. They were minimum. There was minimum price is $70,000. In DeKalb, there were 515 properties for sale. Minimum price $90,000. In Clayton County, 209 properties for sale. Minimum $70,000. Rockdale, 105 properties for sale. Minimum $141,000. Cobb County, 479 properties for sale. Minimum $150,000. Hall County, 194 properties. Minimum $65,000. Douglas County, 203 properties. Minimum $90,000. And in Gwinnett, there was 614 properties for sale with a minimum of $195,000. So I give you the amount of each county, and the reason why I tell you what the minimum is because people say, "Hey, I want to go and find a property that's $150,000," and so this would tell you, even though it's a cheap property, depending on what county that you're in. Especially if you want to be in Fulton, you might be able to find something at $150,000, but that doesn't always equate to nice, because we all know that in this market right now, it's a seller's market, and so sellers are in control, and when there's a shortage of properties, they can actually command whatever they want for the price of their properties. Plus, you have people that are coming in and that are buying properties and overpaying for them. You have people that are spending 20, 30, 50, $100,000 on top of what they're asking for because they want to eliminate the competition. So that drives the price up. And when that drives the price up, it knocks a lot of people out that are looking for properties, that deserve properties, that otherwise possibly couldn't afford it because these investors are coming in and again driving up this price. So that's what I'm here to help you do, is to help navigate what's going on in this real estate market. I know you hear the commercials about people that will help you buy your house, or they will sell your house, and they can guarantee this and they can guarantee that. Well, the difference in what I do versus what they're so-called offering is that you get me personally. You call me, you get me. You text me, you get me. You see me online, you see me on my Facebook, on my Instagram. I'm at your local grocery store, probably at your kids' baseball games, because I'm there seeing somebody's child play something. I try to get around throughout the city, no matter what is going on. So you're gonna see me. You're gonna actually get me. I'm a personable person. And if you go to one of these big box places, you might not ever get the same person twice. Somebody's going to come in and talk to you. They're going to get passed you along to somebody else. They're going to pass you along to somebody else. You're going to get passed along to somebody else until you get to the closing. And you might not ever hear from them ever again. You're going to hear from me throughout the whole process. You can call me and ask me what's going on. Get me to explain something to you. If you don't understand it, call me again tomorrow. Hey, I didn't understand this. Can you re-explain this to me again? Yes, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to take care of all your real estate questions, all your needs, any concerns that you have. And you're not going to always get that again with these other places. So that's why you need to give me a call so that I can assist you. That's why you give me a call so that I can explain these details to you. Again, I've had people that have called me and they have their own agent, but their agent isn't answering their questions. They might ask something and they don't get the clarity as to what they need. That's what I'm here for. So I give these numbers to get you to understand that this market isn't easy. This wasn't like the market that was in 2007, 2008 up to 2010, where you have as many houses as you want to pick from, and you can put in 5, 6, 7 offers, and you got time to think about which one you wanted and everything else. Right now, this market is totally different. And so as your agent, I'm here to help you maximize what your approval letter is for. So one of the questions that I did get is, I'm ready to buy. What do I need to do next? Okay. First thing that I always tell everybody is to go and talk to your loan officer. That's the very first thing, because you don't want to decide that you want to be in one of these counties and you don't know how much you can afford. You don't go to the grocery store to go shopping without knowing how much money you have in your account, do you? No, you don't. So in order to keep from wasting time, you go and talk to a loan officer. The loan officer will run your credit. They'll look at your income, your debt to income ratio, how much money that you're making versus how much is actually coming out. They'll actually look at your credit score and how much money you actually have in reserves. And so they will determine through a computer, algorithms, whatever happens behind the scenes, what they go through, it will spit out a number that will tell you how much you're qualified for. Once we get that number, that's when we can go shopping. You know how much money you have in your account? That's how much you know you can afford to buy when you go to the grocery store. So that's what happens. That's what happens initially. Once that happens, your loan officer will let me know, you'll let me know, and then that's when I'll send you properties that are in your price point. No matter what county that you want to be in, that's when we start to figure out what it is that you're actually looking for. And so once we get to that point, that's when you say, well, I want a master on the main, or I need a fenced in backyard, or I don't want a house that has a pool in it for the liability, or I want to be close to my job, or whatever it is that you need. That's where I start to narrow these properties down. And hopefully you have an open mind about things, because we might not always get everything that you want, but maybe the things that you really need. Once we get to that point, we go and take a look at houses. I check on availability and say, hey, let's go and schedule a time to go look at this house. Well, once we go and take a look at this house, you decide that you want it, then that's when I put an offer in on the property. In the next couple of episodes, I'll go deeper into things, because I'm going to start saying, I'm going to say a couple of things and we'll go deeper into those, like going and getting an inspection, paying for an appraisal, what the underwriters do. I'll go deeper into those things. But initially, we put in an offer, get an inspection, get an appraisal. The your loan officer double checks everything, make sure everything is fine, and then we go to the closing. After closing, you get your keys, you ride off in the sunset happily ever after. But I'll always still be there for you if you do have any questions. But that's the main part of what do you need to do next is go and get your loan officer to get approved, and then that's kind of the whole process of what happens when you're buying a house. Now, when you're selling the house, it's kind of the converse. You say, hey, I have my house for sale, 123 Main Street. Okay, fine. I'll look up what your house is actually worth versus all the other houses that have sold in the last 3 months in your area within a half a mile radius. And I'll tell you your house, showing you what your house is actually worth. Your house is worth X amount of dollars. These houses sold last week, a month ago, 2 months ago. They're comparable to yours. So here's a general idea of what your house is worth. Now, an appraisal will tell you exactly what your house is worth, but I give you a general idea of what your house is worth. And now that's when we market your house to potential buyers. As long as that number is good for you. And of course, we look at what you already owe on your house and make sure that you're not going to have to come out of pocket on the back end when it's time to sell. Then we'll market your house. People will come. They will put in offers. You'll pick the best one. I'll advise you about the ins and outs of what they're asking for possibly. And right now, again, it's a seller's market, so not too many people are asking for anything at all. And then you'll accept an offer. They'll do everything they need to do. Again, inspection, appraisal, go through their loan stuff, and then we'll go to the closing table. You'll get your check. We all live happily ever after. And I'll be helping you go and get into your next house because I know you're going to need something bigger. So process starts all over again. But that's what happens when it's time to buy and or sell. One of the other questions I did get, which is a real good question, is what actually is real estate? So in essence, I don't sell houses. I don't help people buy houses. What actually happens is you're technically buying or selling the land. The house is the improvement that's on the land that drives up the value of that land. But what you're actually purchasing or selling is the actual land. And it was said a long time ago that no one's building any additional land. You can't go out and find any additional land. So that's the value of what you have. It is the actual land itself, whether it's up a hill or down in a ravine or in a mountain area, flat land, wherever it is, that land is what is valuable. Also depends on, of course, the location and all the other improvements that are on your land, what size house you built. But that's, in essence, is what real estate is. So if you build a shack on an acre, it's only going to be worth so much money versus if you build the Taj Mahal on that acre. Yes, of course, the other variables depend on what all the other neighbors' houses are looking for, or looking like, and how much they're worth and the area that it's actually in. But in essence, that's what real estate actually is. Let's see. One more. Oh, this one was going back to the loan officer. Now I'm gonna say the loan officer question for another time. Another one is, what should they look for when they're searching for a house? Well, it all depends on your needs. It all depends on your wants. What is it that you're looking for? Do you want brick? Do you want vinyl siding? It all depends on the look that you're looking for. You want a ranch? Do you want a 2-story? You want a split level? Do you want an incline? Do you want level ground? Do you want a basement? Do you need a big backyard? So those are internal questions that you should ask yourself or your family, your spouse, your children, whoever's important to you, what you actually like. Just like there are different cars and you like this vehicle because this one's red. Well, someone likes their vehicle because this one was black. Somebody else likes, and some people might not care what it is as long as it's not this brand of vehicle or not that brand. So it all depends on what it is that you're actually looking for. I just tell you, the one thing I never want you to do is just to settle. Don't just say, hey, I don't have any other choice. I'll just take this house, because you're always going to be unhappy about the choice that you made. So I always want you to be happy about what your decision is and why you make that decision. And that's part of the personal attention that I give everyone, where we sit and talk about what your needs are and what you're looking for and where you want to be, so that I can get a better understanding as to what you need and for you and your family, because I want you to be happy, because a house is a long-term investment. You're going to stay in it for at least about 5 to 7 years, but some will say, hey, I'm going to stay in mine for the next 30 years and give it to my children whenever I'm no longer here. And we're going to keep this in our family. So if you're going to make that lifelong, long-term commitment, then I need to know exactly what it is that you need, so that we can get this done in the very beginning without you having buyer's remorse. But that's just scratching the surface. I have a lot more to talk about. And again, it's first episode. So look forward to hearing any more questions from you all, so that I can dig deeper into everything that you all are asking. And I will see you all next time. Oh, excuse me. I got to add one more thing. If you need me, I'm able to be reached at 404-422-8568. That's 404-422-8568, or go to MyAgentIsTravis.com. Or you can find me on Facebook. It's Travis Williams, and My Agent is Travis. On my Instagram, it's MyAgentIsTravis _404.422.8568. And you can ask me all the questions that you need to ask me, whatever you need. But I look forward to hearing from you very soon, and I will see you all in the next podcast. Have a great night.